In fourth grade, I stood on a stage, my hands shaking so badly I could barely read the words. I stumbled through my speech, and when it was over, I didn't win. No certificate, just me and my disappointment, and the sinking feeling that public speaking just wasn't for me. But here's the thing. That failure did not break me. It taught me what fear feels like, but it also showed me that I could survive it. 4 years later, I found myself doing the same thing, but this time, it was different. I was still nervous, my heart still raced, but I'd learned to work with that discomfort. I delivered my speech with confidence, and when they announced the results, I didn't just participate, I won first place. Not to mention, here I am again, delivering yet another speech on the same stage. That journey from failure to success taught me something powerful. Fear is not a stop sign, rather a doorway. And on the other side of that discomfort is growth you never imagined possible. We often believe that fear is a stop sign, that if something makes us uncomfortable, then that must mean we're not ready or not good enough. But what if that's not true? What if fear is not a stop sign, rather a sign that we're growing? Let's think back together to the first time we attempted riding a bike, speaking in front of a crowd, or even trying something new. We've all felt nervous, maybe even thought of giving up. But once we've pushed through that fear, we realize that we are indeed stronger than we believe we are. We learned, and we improved. In fact, fear shows up the most when we are stepping into something unfamiliar, something that has the power to shape us. Think of a muscle being stretched. At first, it feels uncomfortable, maybe even painful. But the more you keep pushing, the stronger the muscle gets. Every time we face fear, instead of avoiding it, we learn to add something new to what we are capable of. We become more confident, more skilled, and more prepared for future challenges. And I didn't learn that alone. There were two people who saw my potential long before I did. My parents. They never allowed me to settle in fear. Whenever I failed at something, maybe not getting the best score on an exam or not getting accepted into a program, they never allowed me to label myself as not good enough. Instead, they always reminded me that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. My father's advice has always been, fear doesn't mean stop. It means pay attention. It means you care. Most importantly, it means you're growing and you're pushing yourself to reach your full potential. This reminds me of a time I broke down in tears over an exam. I was overwhelmed, afraid of not getting the score I wanted, and convinced I wasn't prepared enough. My father sat beside me and said, "That fear of your feelings is not a bad thing. Take that fear and use it. Study hard, push yourself, and walk into that exam confident in your capabilities." He made me realize that fear should be treated like fuel for us. It can push us to focus more and prepare harder in order to give our best effort. Looking back, I realize how powerful those words were. Because when fear shows up, we all have two choices. We can either pull out or we can step forward. And sometimes having the right support system makes all the difference. We all need that one person who believes in us when we don't believe in ourselves yet. This could be a parent, a sibling, a teacher, or even a friend. The right support system does not remove fear, but it reminds us that we are capable of pushing through it. And this lesson doesn't just apply to passing an exam or speaking in front of a crowd. It applies to everything. Starting a new job, a new hobby, moving to a new place, or even chasing a dream that feels bigger than us. Fear will always, always be there, but so will the possibility of growth. Some of the most successful people in the world didn't get there because they avoided fear. They got there because they walked right through it. Hamad Assaf, a Palestinian singer, grew up as a refugee. When he decided to audition for Arab Idol, he didn't even have a way to enter the venue. He had to climb over a wall and convince the judges to let him in. The fear of rejection or failure did not stop him. He sang his heart out and won, becoming a symbol of hope for millions of Palestinians. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. These people did not allow fear or discourage to define them. They used it as fuel, and so can we. In fact, fear activates the amygdala, the part of our brain that triggers flight or fight mode. But research has shown that when we face fear instead of avoiding it, our brain actually reconnects itself to become more resilient. This means every time we face fear, we are actually training ourselves to become stronger, more capable, and more confident. So, the next time you feel fear, don't let it stop you from reaching your goals and dreams. See it as proof that you're on the edge of growth. Take a deep breath, push forward, and always, always remind yourself, on the other side of that fear is a version of you that is stronger, braver, and more capable than you could ever imagine. So, what's the fear that you're ready to walk through today? Thank you.